We are here with Ruth Jennings. Ruth Jennings, and I will refer to her as Mom because she's Mom to me. All right, and we're going to be talking about her life, things that she's done and experienced, and whatever she wants to talk about. So, Mom, tell me about yourself in general right now, and then we'll go into details.
I turned 90 years old this year, and I'm still working with my store that I started years ago, and I'm just kind of enjoying it, though. I'm still part-time employed.
Okay, good. So, let's start at the beginning, okay? You're 90 years old. You were born 1931, right?
1931, and my mother had all of us at home. I was born in Ohio at home, and the next to the youngest of 7 children. I had 5 brothers and 1 sister. So we had quite a busy family. But when I was going into 1st grade, we moved on the farm. We had a 12-acre farm, and so it was a lot of work. We only had 1 car.
Okay.
So when you went any place, if you had to go someplace, you had to wait till someone else had to go the same place. But it was nice. It was interesting. But it was kind of tough having just one car and 9 people actually.
Okay. Well, your mother never did drive, right?
No, Mom never drove. Mom never had a job, but she had a job at home taking care of 7 children, and so. As we grew up, my sister stayed in the house and learned to cook, and I was more with brothers. I was outside climbing trees and jumping over fences, and then a little bit older, I did a lot of garden work. We did hoeing and pulling weeds. It was a lot of work, a lot of canning. But with the family of 7, that's about what we did. We went on vacation once a year to Tennessee, where my mother and dad were born, and for 2 weeks down at Tennessee.
Who were some of those relatives?
I had aunts and uncles and cousins, of course. And the one was Uncle George, who was a preacher, lived in Sevierville, and Aunt Jessie lived in Madisonville. And then I had an uncle who owned a sawmill and in Madisonville, and we stayed with him. And the railroad track was right there by the house, which helped him with his business, being in the lumber business. But in the middle of the night when a train goes through, it's something that's unusual. Sure. The one place we stayed, my aunt that lived in Parrotsville, and I experienced no running water so far as taking a shower or bathroom, so they had an outside bathroom, but we took a shower. We took our baths in a big wash tub, which was quite an experience. But anyway, we moved out when after my last year, so we were in high school. So my sister and I really weren't real close, because being 6 years between us and 3 boys, I was more, as I say, I was more active with the boys than I was with her. So it's a shame, because we really weren't real close.
Okay, so going back to your childhood, a lot of work on the farm, right?
Right. A lot of canning.
Did you have any kind of real entertainment or Did you have other friends that lived around you?
No, it was, we went to church a lot.
Okay.
And so during the summer we would go to Bible school. And what I liked about the Bible school was when we ate, my mother didn't have regular sliced bread. She had her homemade bread, but what I liked about it, immediately I had to have a slice of bread when we sat down to eat because I didn't have that at home. Yankee Lake was just not too far from us, and once in a while we'd go over there swimming. The 4th of July we'd go up to Conneaut Lake and have a picnic and swimming in Lake Erie.
Okay, now, so this was in the 30s, late 30s, early 40s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so, you know, being that time period, the political tension in the world, were you exposed to what was going on in the world?
Yeah, World War II was beginning to start in the 40s there. And some of the fellas in their senior class were drafted, and they never came back. But there wasn't too much political talk going on in our family.
All right, well, let's go back to the school years then. In school, were you a good student?
I was a good student. I was straight A's up till 5th grade.
Okay. All right, then what happened?
Algebra.
Okay.
Other than that, I was pretty good. We went to Curtis School. We took the school bus, and the weather, it didn't matter what the weather was like, you still went to school.
Sure.
And the school bus one time got stuck in the ditch. So we were there for a while, so we got out our lunches and started eating our lunches, waiting for another school bus or someone to come and get us.
Okay. All right. So you went to Curtis. Did you participate in any activities at school? Like, did they have plays and things like that?
Not till I got into high school.
Okay, so let's go into high school then. So you went into high school, which...
Well, when I was in junior high, I was a cheerleader.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so then when I got into high school, I got into the band, and the only instrument that we had in the family was a baritone horn, which is a big one, but yet, you know, it was an instrument to get in the band. And my sister played it, and but as I say, she was 6 years older, so she was out of school when I started high school. And then I was in the chorus. They had a minstrel, and I was in the minstrel. I was the senior in the senior play. Let's see, I forget the name of it, but I played the part of Belinda Boyd, and the main part for the female. And the school took us swimming. We were very active in school. So so far as sports and stuff like that.
All right, so at some point in time, you met Carl.
Yes, but when I was in high school, the year I graduated, I was the homecoming queen.
Right.
Their football queen, or whatever they wanted to call it, but that was the homecoming queen. And it was when I was in high school, I met Carl.
Okay, and do you remember exactly how you met him?
I really don't. I think it may have been at a dance. I don't remember how I met him. But little did I know that he lived a half a mile from me.
You didn't know that?
Or maybe a mountain. No, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Well, he took a different school bus than I did.
Okay.
So therefore, I didn't get acquainted with him. We had a lot of fun in high school, doing a lot of different things. The swimming and the chorus and the band and.
Okay, so after you got out of school, what'd you do?
Well, I attended Shenango Valley Commercial Institute for a while, and had actually, I was in high school when I started doing that, and then shortly after, before we moved to East Liverpool, I worked for a couple companies in Sharon, and I worked at Wilson's Furniture Store, and then I worked for another manufacturing company. Then we moved. But after Carl came back and we got settled here, he joined the Masons, and he was a master of the Masonic Lodge in Hartford, Ohio, and then I joined the Eastern Star, and he joined the Eastern Star also. So I was worthy matron, and he was worthy patron. And so we traveled a lot with that, met a lot of nice people. And then, Carl did a lot with the lodge. And he was quite active. It was a very active organization. He was drafted and went into the Korean War, but he applied to be in the band.
Right.
So he was in the band the whole time that he was in the service. He was stationed in Kentucky.
Okay.
And he came home, and when he came home on leave, and he wanted to get married, and I said, I don't, to make arrangements and all that, you're in the service and so forth. And he said, well, one of the fellas told him at Fort Wayne, Indiana, you can get married in 12 hours. So we, in the meantime, let me tell you, we moved out of our house here on the farm because my dad was transferred, took a job with Crucible Steel in Midland, Pennsylvania. So we moved to East Liverpool, Ohio. So I lived 2 years in the city, kind of like, and it was so different for me because I could hop on a bus and go to town. Where here, out on the farm, you went when the car was going. And I know my brother Charles would, when he had a date, my girlfriend and I wanted to go to a movie, so he would take us to a movie and pick up his date, and then he'd bring us home, or I don't know whether he took, but anyway, we had to go when the car was going. That's how it was.
Okay.
So it was nice to hop on a bus and go to town and go shopping. It was quite a different experience.
Okay, so this was after you graduated then?
Yeah, that was after.
Okay, so in East Liverpool, did you have a job?
Yes, I worked at Crucible Steel.
Oh, same place.
As my dad did. Yeah, I worked there for a couple of years and enjoyed going to the racetrack and betting on the horses.
Okay, what did you do at Crucible?
I worked in the office. It was in the invoice department.
Okay.
And so, we were very busy. When I think about the money we made then, and when we came home, I got a job here at the Sharon Medical Clinic for $100 less a month than I was making at the steel mill.
Not the big city, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, Carl said he wanted to get married, and then we talked about it and so forth. So we ran off to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and didn't tell my mother.
Wow.
So the next day I called her and told her, and I said, "Are you mad?" And she said, "No, I'm not mad. Why should I be mad?" So anyway, he went back to the service, and another year and a half maybe. And when we came home, I had always said, I will never marry someone who lives on a farm. After living on a farm and doing all the hoeing and pulling weeds and all that. So then married Carl and moved into a 250-acre farm.
Huh, okay. So go ahead, tell me about that experience.
With Grandpa,
Sure.
we moved in with Carl's granddad, and the farmhouse had 4 bedrooms, a bath, and a closet, open closet in the upstairs. Downstairs, 2 living rooms, a dining room, a kitchen, and at that time a pantry, and a half a bath.
And so we're sitting in the
large
dining room right now, right?
So we're in the dining room right now.
Okay.
A large foyer, front foyer, beautiful, beautiful porches on front and back.
You know when the house was built?
He built the house in 1900. So right now it's 120 years old.
Okay, so what else? Tell me more about the house.
So he had a coal furnace, and of course when he had the coal delivered, he had a lot of I don't know what it was called, but the coal was a powdery, or it wasn't the big. He had the big chunks, but he also had the smaller, and that's what he banked the furnace with at night, so that it wouldn't go out. It banked the furnace, but coal dust. It would take me all day Thursday to clean upstairs and all day Friday to clean downstairs because of tons and tons of woodwork. And he had a potbelly stove in the kitchen, and everything else seemed to be, up to date so far as the time went.